After Sevilla triumphed over Roma in the Europa League final, José Mourinho faced his first European final loss following 5 victories. Unable to digest the defeat, he decided to give the runner-up medal to a fan as a gift. Adding to the drama, Mourinho waited post-match to give referee Anthony Taylor a piece of his mind. In the aftermath, Roma's fans unleashed their frustrations, harassing the referee and his family. But this is not the first time Mourinho has stirred controversy. Here are the top 10 controversial moments involving the special one in football. Arsene Wenger versus José Mourinho. Mourinho and former Arsenal manager Arsene Wenger didn't exactly get along during their time in London. They even had a physical confrontation at Stamford Bridge in 2014 when Wenger pushed Mourinho in the coaching area. This was probably the peak of their conflict, after the former Gunner boss had to put up with several jeers from Mourinho. Mourinho had once called Wenger a voyeur, accusing him of being overly interested in his Chelsea team. I think he is one of these people who is a voyeur. He likes to watch other people. There are some guys who, when they are at home, have a big telescope to see what happens in other families. He speaks about Chelsea, he said. The most memorable remark was perhaps Mourinho's specialist in failure comment, in response to Wenger suggesting that Chelsea and other Premier League competitors were downplaying their chances of winning the title out of fear of failure. Mourinho sarcastically replied,
"He is a specialist in failure. I'm not. So if supposedly he is right and I am afraid of fail, it's because I don't fail many times. So..."
Messi the Actor. When Spanish defender Asier del Horno was controversially red-carded for a tackle on Lionel Messi during a 2006 Champions League match, Mourinho blamed the Barcelona superstar. In his critique, he hinted that Messi might have picked up some acting skills. He asked, "How do you say cheating in Catalan?" and followed up with, "Could Messi be punished for his acting? Barcelona is a city known for its culture and many great theaters, and it seems this young man has learned well. He's good at pretending." Rafa Benitez and his diet. Following his infamous facts rant about Sir Alex Ferguson, Rafa Benitez left England to take over Inter Milan, a team previously led by Mourinho, who had enjoyed a fruitful 2 years in Italy. Soon after stepping in, Benitez clinched the 2010 Club World Cup. Yet Mourinho insisted that the credit should go to him, as he had constructed the victorious team. He sarcastically remarked, "I thought he was going to thank me for the title I gave him. Ask all the Inter fans what they think of me and him." When Benitez's wife, Mons, claimed that her husband frequently had to fix Mourinho's blunders, something that didn't sound well to Mourinho, he responded, "The lady is a bit confused, with all respect. I'm not laughing because her husband replaced Roberto Di Matteo at Chelsea and Carlo Ancelotti at Real Madrid. The only club where her husband succeeded me was at Inter Milan, where in 6 months he ruined what was then the best team in Europe. And for her to constantly think about and mention me, I think she should find something else to do. If she focuses on managing her husband's diet, she might have less time to talk about me." Ouch. Pep Guardiola doesn't enjoy football. Mourinho always seemed to have a knack for getting under Pep Guardiola's skin. Over the years, they've had their fair share of verbal exchanges, including a notable instance when Mourinho made light of Guardiola's baldness. He said, "When you enjoy what you do, you don't lose your hair, and Guardiola is bald. He doesn't enjoy football." However, their feud reached a fever pitch when Guardiola's Barcelona team bested Mourinho's Real Madrid 2-0, progressing to the finals of the Champions League. Mourinho felt hard done by the officials' decisions and even suggested that Guardiola's earlier Champions League win was equally scandalous. Josep Guardiola is a fantastic coach, but I have won 2 Champions Leagues and he has won only 1. And that is one that would embarrass me. I would be ashamed to have won it with the scandal of Stamford Bridge. If he wins it this year, it will be with the scandal of the Bernabeu. Deep down, if they are good people, it cannot taste right for them. I hope one day Guardiola has the chance of winning a brilliant, clean Champions League with no scandal. Encourage his players to be booked. In 2010, while managing Real Madrid, Mourinho was facing a situation where his team had already qualified for the Champions League knockout stages, but star players Sergio Ramos and Xabi Alonso risked carrying yellow cards into the knockout stages due to bookings received in a match against Ajax. To avoid this risk, Mourinho orchestrated a plan for both players to get sent off, thus ensuring their suspension for a less crucial upcoming match and clearing their disciplinary records for the knockout stages. Alonso and Ramos both received their second yellow cards for time wasting, and as a result, Real Madrid, the players, and Mourinho were fined by UEFA. This event is considered one of the most audacious tactics in Mourinho's career. Mourinho's most beautiful defeat. Often criticized for his defensive football tactics, the special one didn't seem to care as long as he won. One of his most memorable victories was actually a loss, in a game where his team only held the ball 13% of the time and took a single shot. This occurred on April 28, 2010, when Inter Milan played Barcelona at Nou Camp in the Champions League semi-finals, holding a 3-1 lead from the first leg. Unexpectedly, Mourinho replaced Goran Pandev, initially set to start with defender Christian Chivu. Playing a highly defensive strategy from the start, Mourinho utilized 3 defensive midfielders to shield the defense. Even with the attacking threat of players like Messi, Xavi and Pedro, Mourinho stuck to his plan. The situation worsened for Inter when Thiago Motta was controversially sent off in the 28th minute, leaving Inter to fend off Barcelona with only 10 men. Mourinho mocked the decision with a sarcastic applause from the sideline. Despite being barraged with shots, Inter Milan managed to hold off Barcelona until the 84th minute when Gerard Piqué scored. Even with the late goal, Inter managed to resist further damage and secured their spot in the finals, at the cost of the previous year's winners. The match ended in a 1-0 defeat, but given the circumstances and the achievement, Mourinho called it the most beautiful defeat of my life. Mourinho celebrated the hard-fought victory by running onto the pitch, arm raised and finger pointed, celebrating the successful execution of his tactical plan. Instructing Özil through opponent. During a Champions League group stage match between Real Madrid and Borussia Dortmund, Mourinho employed a unique method to convey instructions to Mesut Özil. Unable to reach Özil directly, he seized an opportunity when Marcel Schmelzer approached to take a throw-in. Mourinho approached Schmelzer and used him as a messenger, instructing him on what to tell Özil as if he were a member of his own team. When Schmelzer relayed the message to Özil, the Real Madrid playmaker appeared perplexed but glanced back at Mourinho, who provided confirmation. This incident adds to the many reasons why José Mourinho is hailed as the special one. The Eva Carneiro Case. During the closing moments of the match against Swansea City, Eden Hazard fell onto the pitch, causing Eva Carneiro and John Fern, the Chelsea medical staff, to rush to his aid. Their action led to a pause in play that upset Mourinho, sparking an intense argument with the two healthcare professionals. He later labeled their quick decision to help Hazard as naive, which resulted in Carneiro's removal from matchday duties and eventually her departure from the club. The fallout from her exit was so severe that Carneiro decided to sue the club for forcing her to resign under unbearable circumstances, a claim she later settled with the club. Baseless accusations. There was high tension when Chelsea lost a controversial match to Barcelona in the 2006 Champions League. Mourinho falsely accused Barcelona's coach Frank Rijkaard of going into the referee's room at halftime just before Chelsea's Didier Drogba was given a red card. He stated, "When I saw Frank entering the referee's dressing room, I was shocked. When Didier Drogba was sent off later, it didn't come as a surprise to me." For his comments, Mourinho had to pay a fine of £8,900 and was banned from the touchline for 2 games. The referee, Anders Frisk, decided to quit refereeing altogether due to threats he received following Mourinho's claims. Before we unveil our top pick for Mourinho's most contentious moment, let's take a look at some honorable mentions. Beefing with Juventus fans. In November 2018, Manchester United was struggling in their Champions League group stage and badly needed a win against Juventus at their home ground. A couple of weeks earlier, Juventus had secured a 1-0 victory over United at Old Trafford. When Cristiano Ronaldo scored for Juventus just past the 60th minute, it seemed like United was heading towards another loss. However, a last-minute equalizer from Juan Mata and a decisive own goal from Leonardo Bonucci gave United a surprising victory at the Allianz Stadium. Mourinho seized the moment and made a show of cupping his ear towards the Juventus fans, stoking their anger. Interestingly, Bonucci, known for his own provocative antics, was displeased by Mourinho's gesture, leading to a confrontation. Mourinho, never one to back down, continued his provocative behavior as he walked down the tunnel. "I have nothing to say." In his second stint at Chelsea, Mourinho gave a stubbornly taciturn interview following a disappointing 3-1 home defeat to Liverpool. He refused to provide any comments about the match or individual incidents, despite the interviewer's repeated attempts.
Jose, 3-1 defeat after a fabulous start. The game just got away from you there.
I have nothing to say.
Nothing to say about the game at all?
Nothing. I have nothing to say.
Nothing to say about the Lucas decision that left him on the pitch?
Nothing to say. I have nothing to say.
The Costa clash?
I have nothing to say. I'm so sorry, I have nothing to say.
"If I speak, I will be in big trouble." In another post-match interview following Chelsea's 1-0 defeat to Aston Villa at Villa Park, Mourinho took a sarcastic approach. The game had been contentious, featuring a disallowed goal and 3 red cards, one of which was Mourinho's. Unhappy with the officiating, Mourinho refrained from commenting about the referees in his interview.
Speak about big decisions, you don't speak just about the red cards. I prefer really not to speak. If I speak, I am in big trouble. In big trouble. And I don't want to be in big trouble.
Despite claiming he prefers not to speak, Mourinho's non-comment still said a lot, making the interview an internet meme. Respect, respect, respect. After Manchester United's 3-0 loss to Tottenham Hotspur, Mourinho, then the manager of United, demanded respect in a post-match press conference. His call for respect was a reaction to criticism about the team's performance and his own managerial choices. He defended himself by pointing out his 3 Premier League titles, more than any other manager in the Premier League at the time. The eye-poking incident with Vilanova. One of Mourinho's most controversial moments took place in Spain while he was at the helm of Real Madrid. In a match that ended in Barcelona's favor with a 3-2 score, a fight broke out among the players of both teams. Amidst this chaos, Mourinho made headlines by poking Vilanova, then assistant coach of Barcelona, in the eye. This act was caught on camera and sparked significant controversy due to its blatant disrespect. In the aftermath, Mourinho initially dodged responsibility and even feigned ignorance about Vilanova's identity, derogatorily referring to him as Pito, a coarse slang in Spanish instead of his actual name, Tito.
Pito Vilanova, como se llama este que no sé cómo se llama.
Later on, however, he admitted his mistake and expressed regret. He acknowledged, "I should not have done what I did, obviously not. The person who messed up there was me." This controversy intensified the long-standing rivalry between Real Madrid and Barcelona and the personal tension between Mourinho and Guardiola. Sadly, Tito Vilanova, who succeeded Guardiola as Barcelona's head coach, had his stint cut short by a battle with cancer. He passed away in 2014. There you have it, folks, our top 10 of Mourinho's controversial moments in football. Let us know in the comments which moment shocked you the most, and be sure to subscribe to our channel for more content like this.